Showed up the field this morning, and it was packed in with fog. Well, the Arrows Bigfoot with some lights and one of those little flashy strobes on the bottom. I said, what the heck? Had a great time flying around here. I'm showing off for my buddies. For the next minute and a half, I'm going to fly around. When I land is when I rip off the elevator, and then we go into the fix. So if you want to fast forward, go ahead. Otherwise, you'll see me flipping and flopping around with my Arrows Bigfoot.
Just keep it in close. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about as far out as I could go, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And then circular, and when I came down, it was perfectly clear over there. Yeah. There we got off the 142. Yeah. Perfectly clear.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
Okay.
Landing flaps.
Well, right there, I ripped off the elevator, at least the right side. Let me show you. All right, let's take it back to the shop and fix it. Well, sometimes, stupid happens. And I ripped off part of my elevator while I was taxiing in some long grass, kind of goofing off a little too fast. Had the elevator up, and this caught and ripped it right out. So I'm going to put this all back together. Just kind of, these kind of accidents happen. I'm going to glue the hinge. I'm going to show that process. Take you along the ride here of getting some Foamtac, putting it on there, good amount on that portion, this portion here, and then a slight amount there to glue that hinge back together. I'm going to use Foamtac because it's flexible, and for a hinge replacement, Foamtac works well. If this was a really fast, big plane, I'm not going to use Foamtac. If I'm going to, most of the fixes I've done with Foamtac for hinge repair, got a video on it that I've done it a couple other times. I'm just going to go through another one, but it's worked very well. So I'll show you how I do that. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is do a dry fit. And on my dry fit, I just want to make sure that everything lines up well. When I'm looking at how well all the foam, no pieces are missing, how straight is it, things like that. If it's off a little bit, which happened, this thing was actually bent quite a bit when it got yanked out. I want to make sure that it lines up. Also, all of this lines up perfectly with where it broke. So when I apply that bead, fine bead of glue, everything lines up perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and first, good amount of Foamtac. I'll put some on both sides. And then I want to run a bead decent amount on that foam, couple drops along here. Boy, my tube is dead. Should have swapped that out. Then I'm going to spend a little time here making sure that everything lines up perfectly. And I know it's off camera, sorry, but I'm making sure everything is lined up well. And push that together well. Just went to a little bit of a wider angle on my camera. It's hard to try to get everything on the camera. And perform this properly. The other thing I'm going to do is disconnect my elevator so I can move this elevator. Flex it a little bit. That glue job looks pretty good. If you were to take a look there, I don't want a ton of glue. You just want a small amount on the hinge part. Run my finger in there a little bit. And then I'm going to work that just a slight amount. Wish that would close up a little bit better there. But I really want to make sure it is lined up perfectly on that hinge line. All right, that's done. Now I'm going to let it sit. All right, got it down here now. You can kind of see right along there, just that bead. There is some visible crack right here. Not much I can do about that. But I'm just making sure that all that glue, and most important is that everything is nice and straight. So when you look at it from the side, there's no waves in it, things like that. You want to make sure that you got a nice glue job. I'll wiggle that a little bit. Then, all right, we're just going to leave it alone for about 30 minutes. Okay, she is all back together. I already attached the push rod, but giving a couple tests, doing a little pulling on things, and I think I'm pretty happy with how things went back together. Probably, obviously get her back up, test her. It's a bummer when this stuff happens, but that's one of the nice things about foam planes. If you didn't feel comfortable with that gluing that hinge, you could put some hinge tape or something, some Blenderm tape. This stuff here, this 3M Blenderm tape. You could put a strip of it on this side and underneath just to give it some more strength. Some people run it the entire length, whatever you want to do, what you feel comfortable with. For me, Foamtac, I've used it, works well. Have a good one.